Good afternoon, Svaru. Let's talk today a little more about the 5D world, how it is different from ours, and how to be a 5D person while still in 3D. We will also talk about any essential attitudes and actions that can propel us to break through the 3D matrix and into the 5D mind. To start, can you describe what it is like in 5D? What will the Earth look like and feel like? Good afternoon, Gosha. I'm happy to be here again. In short, 5D Earth will include what other worlds here do: spaceports, interaction with other star species, and more important, free holographic society with all its benefits like true knowledge and unlimited resources. Also, the dropping of the very deeply rooted belief in lack and scarcity that is bringing so many problems to Earth now. What is the 5D perception like in terms of 5 senses, touching, hearing, etc., comparing to the 3D one? Comparing to 3D senses, here you have many more colors and perception of colors. They do change. I mean, something green in 3D may appear a different color in 5D because the chemical components and your perception of the radiation spectrum of the light reflecting off the object are different. Also, your other senses are heightened, all of them. You see more in the dark, and you hear things you could not in 3D, and all your awareness is heightened. But do things feel the same to the touch? Yes, pretty much the same, but your fingers are a lot more sensitive. Example, you can feel in a paper where there is print and where there is not. On Earth, it's called hyperdactylia. All your awareness increases, not to mention other things, like telepathy and other extrasensory abilities that are normal here. Okay, and does nature feel the same way or more alive? For example, trees and all living creatures? Can you perceive their essence? Yes, trees, for example, you feel their presence as a lot of love, like life-giving refreshness. You really want to be close to them. You feel their positive life-generating energy. Empathy is also highlighted. You do feel and understand all creatures, even insects, as other people. That's nice. Being in 5D, can you perceive things from 3D, or is it impossible or hard for you from there? Yes, as 5D includes 3D in it. I can perceive 3D. That's why I can understand 3D concepts. But a normal 3D person cannot understand my 5D concepts. You don't have some answers in your reality. However, it doesn't make you inferior. You are just looking for answers of 5D nature in a 3D way. The example of this are many ufologists. Even after years, decades of following the UFO subject, they haven't seen the spiritual, transcendent aspect of the UFO phenomena. You cannot seek 3D answers for a 5D question. There are many good ones though. Mary Rodwell, for example, Rauni Kilde, Dolores Cannon are all very good 5D UFO researchers. Okay, and who decided that it is time for us to go back to 5D? And why now? Why not 200 years ago or 200 years in the future? I guess Source decided. All on Earth will go back to 5D eventually. The whole quadrant of the galaxy is growing in frequency. There are positronic waves coming from the center of the galaxy that increase the frequency each pulse. It is also the Federation who decided the 3D mess should be over, because the humans found the way out of the Van Allen belts. The reptilians and their henchmen also found atomic power, and that tears through several dimensions, so we had to stop them. And enough is enough of suffering there. Humans found their way out? You mean with the help of reptiles? They accumulated enough technology to find the way out, using frequency modulation on their ships. They could leave since like 1950s with the secret space program, back engineering Roswell craft and a few other before that. Okay, but with the help of the reptilians, yes? Not with the help of the reptilians. It's all the reptilians. Many humans are reptilians in humanoid form, and other humans are henchmen. But it's all for the reptilians. Reptilians and humans working for them, I should have said. Henchmen are those true humans that work for the reptilians mostly without knowing. Example, the military or NASA, JPL workers and scientists. I see. And when we finally go back to 5D, what will happen to all those unreal people without souls? They will cease to exist, or they will be in another timeline as everything exists at once. They will cease to exist. You mean just die? Some die, yes, but more like cease to exist, because they are in another timeline, so they are no longer perceivable from the 5D Earth timeline. Okay. Yesterday you mentioned we need to be 5D consciousness in order to ascend, to manifest it. What does it mean to be a 5D person in the 3D world? 5D is a state of mind, a state of consciousness, more than a material place. Everything is consciousness anyway. The material aspects of each density are only a sub-product of consciousness. You must stop thinking that your imagination is fantasy. Imagination is the basement for a new creation. Everything starts as an idea. You must live as if you were a 5D creature, and that is following your true heart, your true core. Even if the world around you doesn't let you, you must be like this inside. You must be aware of your frequency or your vibration. If something makes you feel happy, you are on the correct track. If not, then you are not. It's that simple. You must be aware of your frequency at all times, and you must learn to control it. How do we control the frequency? You must know that the matrix is designed to cause a reaction in you. It's how you manage your reactions what matters here. What attitude you may have towards them. You must be conscious of your emotions and what triggers them. Understand what makes you feel bad, and understand that you are the one in control. If you are feeling bad or low, learn to accept it and process it, because you cannot resist it or you will make it persist. You must respect all life, even plants and insects. They are people too. You must learn to transcend duality. Do not judge others and other things. At the same time, understand that while you are incarnated, you are in duality, and judging is inevitable. Manage that duality and make it a whole. You must do inner work and forgive others. Do not hold on to useless grudges, especially against yourself. You must live in the now, as the now is all there is. You said you must know that the matrix is designed to cause a reaction in you. How does it make you react? Matrix will read you and your inner wants, feelings and emotions, and will send you events that are tailored by your own frequency to cause an emotional reaction in you, to test you all the time. It's designed to do that. A situation, a conflict, even a stray dog in the street you wish you could help, but no, you can't. Or something you watch on TV. You cannot do anything about it. Or an obnoxious person almost trying to ruin your day on purpose. How does no judging apply to you when you are in constant battles against reptilians? How do you apply non-judgment in that case? Reptilians, you don't judge on one level. As you know, it's all a game. And on the other hand, you know that from the point of view of your avatar, your place and your side within the self-designed good and evil you are immersed in, you do judge. You must understand that it's not up to you and you must let it all go. And at the same time, you must continue the fight. Accept the schizophrenia and make it a whole, as part of existence or as existence. Free yourself of the need to criticize yourself for things you did or didn't do, as you acted in your best interest back then with the best information you had at hand. No use bashing yourself for things you did or didn't do now when you have a much more expanded awareness. Do you all see it that way, judging and non-judging at the same time? Is it also a part of a 5D person? It is a part, but it's what a 3D person must understand to be a 5D person. Here, it's only second nature. Okay, let's pause for a second again. You said, Matrix will read you and your inner wants, feelings and emotions and will send you events that are tailored by your own frequency to cause an emotional reaction in you to test you all the time. It's designed to do that all the time. Let's specify which matrix, the original matrix or the 3D matrix? Both, but it's more evident in the 3D matrix. In the original, as you are more aware of what's going on and how it all works, you don't get bashed as much as when you are in a 3D matrix hack that has the tendency to push people around as they are in a victim mentality and don't know how to manage the matrix. The law of attraction is stronger here compared to there because of the density 5D, so everything manifests faster here. So it can also be seen this way. 3D living is a training experience for the souls to be able to control what they want. Because if they are inexperienced and they want an elephant, just imagine the mess on the carpet. I'm serious. They must go through a learning process. I see. You also said it will read your wants and will send you things to test you. You mean if we want something positive, it will send us something negative to test us? Simplifying it, of course? No. If you want positive things and you focus enough, you will get your positive things. But in the process, as you are immersed in a soup of frequencies and seemingly aleatory events, your unconscious programming will bring negative events on you if you are not checking your frequency all the time. It's hard work, but there is no other way. Whatever you focus on, you will get. If whatever you are focusing on is good or evil, it's up to you. It's all the same for the matrix. But you said it will do that to test you. So it's like it will do something opposite of what you want. Why? For example, it will show you a sad dog on the street. To test what? You said your emotional reaction. But why? That's correct. But let's see this from another perspective. It's more like your subconscious and all the baggage you are holding with you is what is testing you. Like in testing yourself. You wish there were no dogs suffering in the street, so at one level or another you are focusing on that, even if you think you don't want it. The matrix doesn't care if you want it or not. It only senses that you've got your attention on that, whatever it is. So therefore, the stray dog manifests in your day. And it works the same in 5D? It works in 5D as well, but here we are a lot more aligned to source, so we don't manifest those negative things for ourselves as often here. Also, you must understand that even if two things are contradictory and paradoxical, doesn't mean one of them is false. Thinking 5D, you can understand that things can be true even if they directly contradict each other. It's just the ability to perceive more things at once. It's just more awareness, more perception. On Earth, you are there only on a small journey, a whole incarnation, and at the same time, just a blink of an eye from another perspective also of yourself. Very well said. Rest assured, that is exactly the case. Materialism simply doesn't hold any water. Matter is the consequence of the intention of a consciousness, not consciousness as a side product of matter or chemical reactions in the brain. On Earth, it's said or accepted that matter somehow generates consciousness as an interaction in the brain among neurons, chemicals, and electric impulses, and that you are only that. Consciousness as the result of matter. You turn the body off and there is no consciousness. Here in 5D, we understand things to be the other way around. Here we acknowledge no matter as such. It's only a projection of consciousness. Here we understand that we are mind, and that matter is only your mind making things up, manifesting things and experiences. And there is no spoon. That's absolutely right. The spoon is in your head. But not even, because there is no head, only an idea. There is nothing out there, only consciousness. You are eternal, always have been, and all other people are just points of attention of yourself. Nothing is strictly real, only you are real. So what part of myself are you? Quite close to me. I know this because otherwise we wouldn't even be talking. It's a frequency match. Even if you decide to go and think of me whatever you may want to think of me, a match has taken place where we crossed paths. So you are a lot closer to me and I to you than other people who are doing whatever they are doing now. These may seem like nice words and a little to nothing more. But here, from here, they are empirical facts. Our science is different. It does accept these things because they are measurable, unlike on Earth. And things like we are all one are not just New Age wishful thinking. We do experience being other people, understanding the dynamics of incarnating and reincarnating, so it's no longer in doubt. We take that as the basis for further exploration. Sometimes I try to see myself and humans in general from another perspective. We have such a short lifetime, endless distractions, and very, very little awareness of our situation down here. We have very little support and need to overcome all of this density in such a tiny fractional time. This must look like a circus from far away. The problem is that humans are being messed with. Another intellectually superior species is messing with your heads. That must stop. It's unfair. So exposing the lies is of prime importance for the humans to be able to see what is truly wrong and the real reason behind their condition. I would say they are not even intellectually superior, just tricking us. They are from one perspective, and they are suppressing your intelligence using many things: mind control, electromagnetic immersion. Once free, you exceed theirs because they have little to no connection to source. They cannot create things and concepts, ideas, as humans can. But you must face the fact that very smart species is messing with your perceptions, mind controlling you 24/7. They are so smart that they recently even managed to infiltrate this ship, these very corridors I walk here. But they are not as creative and resourceful as humans are. Many here have said that what amazes them the most is the human ability to create so much with almost nothing at all. And they tremble. They are afraid that the humans might realize what's really going on and get out. Okay, tell us please more about how we can get out exactly. The only way out of the matrix is with knowledge. Literally, even in Illuminati esoteric meanings, like the checkered floor, the black and white squares. The black ones mean ignorance, obscurity. The white ones mean knowledge into the light. Illuminati comes from that. Tell me more about that. How exactly can we reprogram the matrix from here, contribute to the reprogramming and liberate ourselves into 5D consciousness? What mental attitudes and practical actions should we follow? First, the people must understand that there is something wrong going on with that world. They must understand that you are in the matrix. Understand it. So watching anything official, TV, news, media, and taking your information there only is detrimental to your understanding. The media programs you with what you must see as real and what you must see as unreal. As the people have no other option, no other point of view, they take that as gospel. Perception is everything. But if you guide that perception using programming, mind programming, then you will make the people manifest the reality the controllers want. However, as someone well asked in my channel, before TV, in medieval times for example, there were also wars. People didn't create them being directed artificially by the media. So the events happened, whether the people knew about them and were manipulated or not. Isn't that so? How did the controllers lead people to manifest the reality back then? They made the people think they were limited, imposing materialism on them a long time ago. Anything other than materialism was focused and contained in religions, where they again are contained and controlled. They make people see a false reality that was carefully planned. For example, the creation of biological beings. They only know about Darwin or creation by God. They have no idea about the existence of a third option, but to comprehend that third option, they must understand a lot of things before coming to that. The mind over matter part, for example. Another point, something we always talk about. People think that they are a victim of external circumstances that are not under their control. So the matrix gives them exactly that, the illusion of being a victim. In the matrix, they are immersed in materialism. This science is considered a religion now. It's dogmatic and does not follow its own rules. The sum of the parts does not make up the whole. This is the main problem to understand the matrix. It keeps them in this mindset. The organs of a frog does not make the frog, as it is dead by that time. So dissecting it will not let you know what it is like to be a frog and what it means to be a frog. Seeing only the material part of a frog, they are kept looking at a very small part of reality. And this is part of the matrix problem. All the information they receive in their lives comes in through their 5 limited senses. And those senses can be manipulated, and they are. Again, those 5 senses are the dissected frog and cannot make you see the entirety of frog. To break through the matrix, you must become aware that you are trapped in a 3-dimensional virtual reality matrix. In order to escape it, you must do so from the side of being incarnated, during your lifetime, not in the afterlife, as there is a fence to take you down again with a memory wipe. The present lifetime. The people must desire truth, even if it goes against all their previous programming. They must be willing to let go of all that previous programming. So imagine now people know all this. And now what? What more exactly should they focus on? What practical actions in order to break through the matrix? They must focus on what they want, using the law of attraction. But they all must study how it works, because it may also be a trap. They must not go for what the matrix dictates them to do, unless it places them at any risk. Feelings will manifest faster, and so they must transmit beneficial feelings. To do so, they must understand that the reason they are alive is to be happy. People in conflict countries ask me how to focus on reprogramming the matrix, feeling happy, seeing so much limitedness and unhappiness around. That's the trap I was talking about. The law of attraction can be a trap. Because if all you see is problems and suffering, that's what you will manifest more of. Everything is frequency. And frequency is not only things, but events as well. So if you are not aware of something you attracted, it may be, or it is, because you are a frequency match for that event. So you must constantly be at a high frequency. And a high frequency is known because of how you feel. And if you still manifest lower frequency events, it is because of a very complicated network. You are still dragging older manifestation things. You must get out of all religions, all belief systems. It's all lies. Even when it contains some truth, it's out of context and hijacked to back up the system. Raising your frequency is of extreme importance. You must revoke all soul contracts, past, present, and future. This to be free from all karma and sin programming. That in itself is a huge subject. They must understand what the ego is, and it must be subdued. Turn ego into self. The ego is the result of the destruction of the self. Go back to self. How do we revoke a soul contract? Example of soul contract revocation. Write a letter with your handwriting stating that you no longer are under any contract with the church, that your baptism is revoked and all other connections to the church acting now. And this because it was imposed upon you using tricks and lies. Then take the letter and place it in the altar of a church or cathedral, or if not possible, then in the donation bin of said church. Do not write your name, as it's not necessary and may cause 3D problems. Your identity is your handwriting. Okay, excellent, thank you. Any final message you would give us here on Earth in order for us to flow into the 5D consciousness more and more? Overcome all ideas that limit you. The reason you think a table is hard, for example, and you cannot make your hand go through it, is not because there is hard matter there. It's just the energy frequency of the hologram table repelling the energy frequency of your hologram hand, as two magnets repel each other when in a specific polarity. And that creates resistance. But it can be overcome with mind. Another example of the limiting idea is that you are a slave of your genes. Consciousness is what turns genes on or off. I can provide the exact mechanism for it. What you truly believe is what you get. So if you believe telepathy is not working in you or for you, then it won't. If someone thinks he or she will get cancer because it runs in the family, then he or she probably will get it. Genes don't rule over consciousness. Consciousness rules over genes. This is proven science, and it's already on Earth in the great works of Dr. Bruce Lipton. What he says is the truth. So people should watch what they believe in. To alter the race, then, it's not necessary to alter the genome of a species using a biolab as the followers of the Sumerian tablet sustain. All you need is to mind control the population. Make them believe what you want them to believe. Almost nothing on Earth is true, and by design. A recent CIA director said in public that their mission will be complete when nothing the American public knows is real. Other message for the people on Earth to open the 5D mind. I want them to know that you are not physical meat bags, that you are magical and eternal beings, creators of worlds, that there is no death as such, and that there is nothing to dying from the perspective of the self, as you remain yourself in the other side. That the matrix you live in is false, that the only threat that really exists is the fear they impose on you. Fear is your only enemy. That you must unlearn everything and relearn everything again. That you are so not alone, that there is more humanity out here, a lot more, brothers and sisters that are very worried as we see you suffering a nightmare dream, a dream you can get out of. That you are not powerless. In fact, you are the only ones that have any true power. That's why they keep you ignorant and mind-controlled into believing a false reality that only serves a few. You are needed because you are the true creators. You are the gods and goddesses in the making, kept there to generate a reality that is for the interest of a negative species that is not only afraid but terrorized at the possibility of you waking up, because then they would stand no chance. That it's all only a game, and a game it is. When you go into higher realms, after you conclude your time there, you see everything with a very different perspective and set of priorities and interpretation and meanings. It's just an experience. There is nothing but love and inclusiveness, and separation is an illusion. There is no time and there is no space, distance. It's all in your mind. You are that. It's an inseparable part of you, and you alone decide what is. I want to let you all know that you can be powerful and you can move the matrix to your advantage. You are not victims, however difficult this may be to accept for most. Even the little children suffering in a war zone, they are not victims. Not being a victim doesn't mean they don't need help. They do need a lot of help to stop manifesting all that for themselves. But everything is the result of their thoughts. Even aborted children are. The reaction of the people rejecting this is only victim mentality, which in turn will bring them more victim experiences. So they are locked in a vicious circle that occurs when they are in the lower side of the vibration frequency spectrum. All the chat and details about us and our vehicles are interesting, but this is the message. Me, we, Taigetans, as a species, as myself, with these interactions with you and with Robert, we are being very noisy. I am being very noisy, like no other ET maybe. I am taking disclosure in my hands, for better or worse. I am glad you do, Zbaru, and thank you. Do not let anyone ever take away your personal power. You don't need any ascended masters, yogis, saints, or whatever. You are all the divinity you ever need. Your road to spirituality and back to source is yourself. You are the only one who is punishing yourself and no other. There are no higher powers punishing you. It's only you. You are always your own judge. Free your mind. Free yourself. Free your soul. To escape the matrix, you need a high enough vibration to be able to be as far over the 51% mark on the positive side of the law of attraction. Work on yourself. What you see and what you perceive is your reality, and your reality is all that matters to you. You must learn to respect and love yourself. You must go back into your larger self. You are the self, your true divine, spiritual, eternal essence. If you don't learn to respect and to love and trust yourself, you will not be able to do so with others that are only you again, your reflection in the mirror. Your lives in other timelines all happening now, as there is no time, only what you make of it with your consciousness, as you are source. Any advice that you can give me personally, perhaps? I could never give this kind of advice. I can constructively criticize a video, for example, but never you as a person. That's under the idea that you are faulted, wrong, or somehow invalid when you are not. You are already whole as you are now. The idea that you are not yet what you would like to be only limits you. You are already it. But we are all a dynamic, so we are always changing, evolving, growing. You are it already and always have been. Yes, but we all need something to still take into consideration when expanding, no? For example, if someone still works too much with their left brain, so should open to the right brain in order to expand in both directions. Or if you see that someone might benefit from meditation more as they don't feel too centered, or if someone has unnecessary resentment, there's always something, no? Okay, but they work with their left brain for a reason. That's their choice and evolution level. If you say that needs work, then it would be from my or your perspective only. When talking about someone, it's their reality. Resentments, better understand them to transcend them, but they are not wrong. They just are, and you felt them for a reason. And I shall never invalidate how you feel, because that defines you, who you are. We cannot change people. We can only guide and offer other perspectives. Yes, exactly, guide. Guide me then, from your angle. What guidance and what other perspective would you offer me to consider in my growth? I think you are fine as you are. Never change. Accept yourself. You want any answer except accepting your own perfection. You assume you are not, only because of the matrix programming, the sort of be humble, always in the eyes of God thing. You are right. Here we have a saying, no one is perfect. We have another perspective here. Everyone is perfect. You only have to wake up to the realization of why. Amazing. Well, thank you again for your words, patience, and kindness. Thank you again, my sister. Until next time.